Good evening, Instagram. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all well. How you all doing? Sisters Talk About. We're going live again tonight. Yes. I'm looking a little tired in my face because I had a weekend of, I won't say a weekend of no sleep, but it was busy, fun-filled weekend full of laughter and joy. However, now I am tired. I'm trying to keep my already squinty eyes wide open. Ooh! Right. Waiting for Miss Fiona to come and join me so we can get into conversation. I had my hair done on Saturday by Mr. GT Empires. He did the locks maintenance and then styled my hair and loving it. Miss Fiona is here. What do I do? Okay, I've just sent you an invite. Hello.
Hey, hello.
How you doing, Bubs?
I'm well, babe. How are you?
I'm tired.
Say mine.
I'm trying to keep, as I've just said, my already squinty eyes open. But yes, tired.
Right, let me try that thing. I'm trying to
What's
think.
that?
I'm trying to see if because I've got another phone here.
Hey,
And
Sarah, how you doing, babes? Hope you're well.
right, let me see. Oh, shoot.
What?
Continue talking. I'm here. I'm just going to see if this is going to work. I don't know how you do it.
How do you I want to know what it is that you're trying to do.
Allow. TikTok.
Okay.
I'm going to see if I can go live on that. I don't know how you do. No, I
Oh,
don't know what you do. Anyway, people, good evening. Happy Monday, folks. How is everybody? Is everybody good? Are we well? Yeah, look at my face looks tired.
my face looks more
It's been a
tired.
long weekend, people. Seriously, has it been? It's a long weekend. It's been an enjoyable weekend.
Yes, it's been
Long,
full of joy and laughter.
yeah, long but enjoyable. Long but enjoyable. Not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh. All right. So, might as well just get straight into it of what's currently on my mind. Hey, Boo,
Mhm.
how you doing? Mwah. Hey, Mama V
Hey,
Jane, how you doing,
Mama
love?
VJ, long time no speak. How's it all going for you and family? Hope everyone's well. Yes.
Were you still trying to do the
Carry on
TikTok thing?
then. No, carry on. What was you saying? What was you saying?
All right. So, yeah, what's currently on my mind is that I was watching I was watching a lady called April Mason. She's like a relationship coach, I believe, a life coach, a relationship coach, but I think more relationship. And she
Yeah.
was doing a live earlier. She's based in the US. She was doing a live earlier, and it was more geared towards women. And she was talking about kind of like the expectations that women have of the man, like before they're even anything. Do you know what I mean? And like how basically she's watching a lot of talks and where women have joined and then demanding that
Hmm.
any guy that approaches them needs to be like their wages needs to be at least like six figures, and they need to be able to fly them out here, there, and
Oh,
everywhere.
buffering,
Oh, you're buffering.
buffering.
Oh, you're
Is
back.
that me?
That was you.
You was doing the same to me.
Oh, really? Yeah, I can
Yeah.
hear you
You're back
still.
now, though.
Hey, did you hear what I just said?
You said I heard it a bit about six woman wants a six-figure man, and then you cut
Yeah,
off.
yeah, and then for him to fly her here, there, and everywhere and buy her all of these materialistic things. And then she was just like, and that the man has to look a particular way as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like basically saying that, well, we have generally our expectations of the wrong way round, and
Okay.
that we don't, there's many women that don't actually know what they want,
Mm-hmm.
because she was just like, you know, a man doesn't really come into himself until in his like 30s, late 30s.
Okay.
And so to be demanding, especially some of the younger guys, to be on six figures, it's just like, that's just ridiculous, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. And she was just like about how like you could get with a guy and he's already ambitious, he's got a good job and everything, but then there's a lot of relationships where the men have expanded and even expanded with their money and business because they've had a good woman on their shoulder giving them one, the drive and the focus and even the topics of what they could expand in business with, and then
Mm-hmm.
they end up expanding together. And she was just like, how about focusing on like finding a good man, but then with the aim of expanding together, instead of getting with a man and then expecting him to be established before he's even met you, to meet all these
So,
expectations of, he needs to do A, B, and C, he needs to spend this money, he needs to have this big house, a big car, da 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 da. And she was like, the focus is all wrong. And then she did also touch on the physicalities of a man as well. She was just like, yeah, that because we've seen them, the guys on Instagram, and they'll be doing the most, like, and then you have women in the comments about, oh, he's fine. I'm not even gonna lie, I've seen some fine guys on Instagram, but what I don't
mm-hmm.
do is keep on like blowing them up and all of that, or blow them up at all. Anyway, but women will be in the comments like, oh, he's fine, and it's the type of mind that I want, da 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 da. And then the focus is on the fine man and not on the masculine man, and will totally shut out or cut out the guys that they're not exact, they don't look like they always go to the gym, but they could potentially be a good guy. Like, why does the guy have to be fine instead of, oh, the word that she used,
So
there was a,
sound that everything that you're saying there is the focus is wrong,
yeah,
basically.
basically, yeah.
Basically, from what I'm getting from what you're saying is, do we know what we really want, and
Mm,
are our expectations too high because we're
mm,
focusing on the wrong thing?
yeah, yeah,
Have I got that correct?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we got there with my tired brain trying to remember everything that she was saying.
Okay.
But yeah, that conversation caught me because I agreed with her. I was like, she's speaking facts. She's speaking
Mm-hmm.
facts. Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting an attractive man. However, and we've spoken about it even recently where, you know, some people can have a particular type and then they'll overlook other guys because those other guys don't fit that particular type. But one or maybe more than one of those other guys could actually be a potential good fit. But because they don't look a particular way,
Mm-hmm.
it's like they don't get a look in, or they're not taken seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side, in terms of um, the expectations of the guy having six figures, that's never something that I've ever said. I've never said a particular amount of money that a man has to make to be with me. That's never come into my mind. So for me, when I've seen quite a few women on particular talks or all over Instagram will be talking about how much a man needs to make before they're with them. I know that's been very new for me. That's been very new for me because that's
What's
never
new?
been.
Sorry, what's new? What's new for you? Hearing
Um,
that?
you didn't hear anything I just said.
No, I said hearing that. What's new for you? Hearing that is new for you.
Hearing that is new for me because I've never,
Okay.
yeah, I've never heard anyone really say the man has to make a particular amount of money to be with them. I've heard, oh, he needs to be ambitious, he needs to be working, he needs to be stable, but not he needs to make these amount of zeros to be with me.
Is that the UK, US that you're hearing the money from, or both?
At first, it was more the US, but I'm hearing it from women in the UK now as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was more in the US, listening to podcasts and talks in yeah, that happening in the US. I hear that more from there, but then I've been hearing women over here saying that as well. So yeah,
Mm.
that conversation has been very new for me these past few years. 'Cause that's not something that I would hear before, or that was my focus anyway. Do you know what I mean?
So,
Of oh,
yeah. So, in terms of what you mentioned there, you were saying you said that the focus is all wrong. So, what is your focus?
what is my focus?
Yeah. No, so I'll start again. Do you think, would you say, what are your expectations now to what they were? Because you're now to say what they were 10 years ago.
Oh, good question. 10 years ago is when I began to become more into my own. You know, I'd come out of a long relationship. Um, and yeah, that was, wait a minute, split when I was 29. So yeah, coming into my 30s, it was me realizing who I was, where of how my focus was the wrong way round, like the guys that I was going for, why I kept on meeting a particular character of man is because of what I was focused on and that I had a lot of healing to do. Do you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 10 years ago was really, I'd say, the start of my healing journey and becoming to know myself. So yeah, I've changed a lot in the last 10 years. I've changed a
Yeah.
lot in the last 10 years. But still, even 10 years ago, I would have never have said or never did say a man needed to make a certain amount of money or buy me this, that, and the third. I was never like that in my past relationship.
So, would you have said the man definitely has to have a job? And do you still, yeah. Is that something that you've said? If it's not working, if it's broke pocket, I don't want it.
Um, yeah, either working or being it's his own business. Do you know what I mean? And having focus, being ambitious.
No, no, no. My question was, have you ever just said, if he hasn't got a job, I don't want him? Is that something? Because you said it was money. You said, oh, money has never come into it. It's always
Hmm.
been money focused. So have you ever said he needs to be working?
Yeah, I have said that.
Yeah, okay. That's all right.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. I have
Because
said
it's
that.
something that it's just something that you said before, that's why.
Mm, mm.
Hang on 1 second, let me just turn this thing off 1 moment. I just heard
That's
it
fine.
beep. I just heard something beeping.
Oh,
So
okay. I think I heard it too.
it's gone.
Hi.
Hi, I'm back. I'm back.
How about yourself? Like, because yeah, like the yeah. How about yourself?
So for me, yeah, about I would say 10 years ago, um, nothing pretty much. The one thing that's changed for me is I've become more, I've developed myself more in terms of myself and my self-development and my femininity and knowing really what I want and
Mm-hmm.
what I deserve.
Mm-hmm.
If I go back, say, 20 years, 15, 20 years, then that's when I would be saying, nah, he needs to have a job.
Mm.
He needs to be working, have some decent job, and to me, it would have to be a high-paying job, not no store thing, not no warehouse. I'd be like, nah,
Oh, is
nah,
it?
mate,
Okay.
nah, nah. I was in my twenties, innit? I was young. I was like, nah, nah, nah. I'm not
Mm.
gonna be keeping it real. I was like, nah, man. I don't want, nah. He's ready. I some good money this time. What was I on? But you think about like, but fear that really.
Oh, no.
What was you? What job was you doing?
That was literally
And
what
yeah,
April was saying earlier.
and
That's
like,
what she
what
was
job was
saying
I
earlier.
doing? But now, for me, I have said, for me, it's never been about money for me anyway. Man can flash money. It's never been about money.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've always said the man has to work. But as I've got older, my thing is if he is not working, that won't be a problem. However, he has to not be worthless.
Mm.
And he has
Mm-hmm.
to have ambition. He has to have a plan of
Yeah,
how to
yeah.
make
That's it.
money,
Have
how
a
to make
plan.
money. Or
Yeah.
even, because he has to have a plan, not
Mm.
just expecting things to come because things are not just going to come to you
No.
sitting on your batio.
Mm-hmm.
Don't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can say as many affirmations, you can say pray, but you still need to do the blood clean work, fam. If
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
not
yeah.
doing the work, it ain't
Yeah,
coming. So I
yeah,
have
it's
not
not gonna
got the
work.
time in this lifetime because I have been there. You know, I've been there. And
Yeah.
I don't have the time or the energy anymore to sit down with a man and try and build, and you're just sitting. You're just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because what you
Mm-hmm.
help me build because you can't build, you
Mm-hmm.
can't
Bills
even.
need to be paid.
Nah, bills need to be paid and shit. And if you got, nah, nah. But like I said, I haven't been the one to say an amount of money. But when I was 20 years ago, it was you need to have some kind of high paying job. But like April said, what was I bringing? Because now
Mm.
I check it out and I've done that work and I've done that work, but I've listened and I've
Grown.
been coaching and all that kind of stuff. And I've sat
Mm-hmm.
back and I've thought, and I'm like, but realistically, when they say who's bringing what to the table, what was I bringing to that table?
Mm. Yeah.
Apart from my good looks and my fine figure, which is evidently just a 10 So, you know, so yeah, I wasn't really bringing shit. So yeah, so all these women out there that are saying, "Yo, that man needs to be bringing blah 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 blah." What are you doing? Seriously,
Mm.
because
Mm.
some of y'all just be waiting for that job seekers something or whatever you call it to sign on check to come in and cash. There, yeah, I don't
Mm.
care who's gonna cuss me, but it's the truth. And you're wanting
Mm.
a man to come and sweep you off your feet and pay for things. Good luck work.
Mm. 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 Mm.
Don't be expecting a man just to come and sweep you, and you're not. It's the same. Sweep you off your feet. It's not. It's not gonna work,
Mm.
love.
No.
Some of us need to lower the expectation
Mm.
because a
Mm.
man way after your face don't fit that expectation, love.
Yeah. And like what April was
And
saying is that,
your face doesn't fit it, and your energy doesn't fit it.
yep,
Your morals don't fit it.
yeah,
Nothing fit it.
yeah. And like April was saying when she was talking, she was like, those six-figure guys most likely wouldn't even pick you.
Exactly, they wouldn't. It's something Kevin Samuel said. They weren't. You're not up, lady.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
they wouldn't pick you now.
Mm, yeah, it was
They're
really
going.
interesting.
They're going for model-looking women. They're going for tens. They're not going for sixes or sevens. They're going for 10-10.
All fours.
They're not
But then
going.
you know what? Even that whole, like marking out of 10, that's another thing that's new for me as well. It's like it's
Really?
yeah, like
Really big.
back in the day I never heard people like it being such a strong thing. Like, oh
It
my
wasn't
God.
strong, but I've it's not. I've heard it. Oh,
Mm,
it's not strong, but I don't know where you've been, but I've heard it. I used to hear people
no,
say that. Yeah, I think it's a 10. Yeah, 10. I've heard it.
no, back in the day I never heard anybody talking like that.
Everyone, there used to be marks. Oh, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's a 10. Yeah, I've heard that kind of talk from way back. It's more prominent now, but it's something that
Mhm.
I've heard. I can't say
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that it's new to me.
Yeah, I
So
never
what
heard
did
that
you hear
before.
then? So what was it that you heard?
It was more descriptions like, oh, he's fine, he's good looking, or
Mm.
she's good looking, or she's got a big bumper. Do you know what I mean? It was never, oh, she's a 5, oh, she's a 6, maybe she's a 7. Never heard that. It was more
Mm.
description of how physically attractive you found that person.
So you've never heard say, oh, so what would you give him out of 10? You never used to have those conversations.
Mm.
You see, because
Maybe
even
like
that,
once,
but
maybe
that's what I mean.
once.
That's what I mean. It's a conversation, not just he's a 5, he's a 10. It's the same for me. It's the same kind of thing. It's in passing in a conversation. Oh,
Okay.
okay. Mm.
Yeah, but maybe once. But
So you
yeah.
wouldn't have this. So, but then would you have this kind of some conversation sexually?
No,
Okay.
no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there was never any. Yeah, I never had a conversation. Oh my gosh. Excuse my wonky phone. I'm trying to charge it and be on this damn
Oh, my
live.
excuse, babe. Your excuse.
But yeah, even like with sexual conversations, there was never any that it was like marking out of 10 or anything like that.
Mm.
It would be again more of a description, like was it good? Did you enjoy yourself? Do you know what I mean? It was never, or even the guy saying, "Oh, mark me out of 10. What would you give me?" It was never that.
Well, would the man ever say when a man would ask
I
you if it
don't
was
know
good?
if somebody asked you to mark them out of 10.
No, because you're saying the man said, mark me out of 10. So as a man,
No, no,
that's,
no, no, no. I'm saying I've never had any form because you just says like even like sexual conversations has ever been like, marking out of 10. And
yeah, I
I've
mean
never had.
amongst your girlfriends, that's what I mean. Not with
Oh,
a man
okay,
in
yeah,
bed.
yeah, yeah. Not with a man, not with any of my girlfriends, nothing.
What? What? No, babes.
Yeah, no, never, never. That's why I had to throw it in there because I'm like, I've never had that conversation. So maybe a guy has asked you to mark him out of 10. I don't know. I'm like, I
Hmm.
don't know.
No. But yeah, like you were saying, what April said, yeah, some when it comes to women, our focus is off, our expectations are far too high. What's the explanation? Stop putting the basket where your hand can't reach it. The basket's far
Mm.
too high. You're all on tiptoe, trying to get. Let me just. Not reaching. You're not reaching it. Lower it, man. Lower it, ladies.
Mm.
Lower it. You know what I mean? And the stink attitude, because I find the majority of these women have just the attitude stink like yeah, foul fish. That's just
It's true. It's true. It's true.
mm.
But yeah, it was interesting when I was seeing like people in the comments that was commenting on the live.
So what were
Um,
the comments that were coming up? If you didn't mind me
there was a lot of
asking.
women just agreeing with her, or
Okay.
there was comments where um, I don't know if some of the women were kind of like that, but it was opening up their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It was opening up her eyes because with April Mason, her one of her main focuses is on women embracing their feminine energy and what is that,
Mm-hmm.
and how to bring that forward. So, every so often you'll see a post from her and she'll be tagging women that have recently been proposed to, got engaged, and their testimonies on what they've learned from April Mason and how they believe
Okay.
what she talks about in her teachings is help them to basically gain what it is that they really wanted in the beginning. So it was
Mm-hmm.
going to a relationship with a certain perspective, certain attitude and behavior, and it wasn't getting them anywhere. It wasn't drawing the man to say, "Oh, marry me" or anything like that. And then, yeah, the women basically saying, I basically listened to what you said. I started to embrace and show my femininity, and I'm enjoying this journey of me being more feminine and me putting the masculine energy to bed sometimes. It doesn't always need to be out in directing everything. And yeah, now I'm engaged, and I'm like, wow. But yeah, see posts from like that from her at least once a week or every 2 weeks if I come
Okay.
across her page.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So a question then, because you just mentioned this, you're on about marriage. So you
Yeah,
said
yeah.
something about women have been proposed to. So with women, do you feel that
Hmm.
as women, we feel that we need to get married opposed to just stay in the relationship?
Yeah, I do believe that we do feel that we have to get married and that the focus should
Mm.
be marriage. That narrative has been basically drilled into us, sold to us, read to us. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Our whole lives from when we was
Yeah.
young. You think about all the fairy tales and the cartoons. You have
Mm-hmm.
Cinderella. You have
Yeah.
what? Do you know what I mean? It's continuous. It's
Mm.
continuous, and the end game is to get married. You know. Um, but then many don't really understand the concept of marriage. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, and yeah, like the what the pulling power of marriage should be, and it's not all about romance, and that is what we have been from
Yeah.
children before
That's what
we
you
even
said.
born. Yeah, that's what we've been fed.
Fairy tale.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Where, because hold up, yeah, speaking about this to a cousin this weekend of how only in the West, like we've been sold all this, romanticizing
Mm.
and what marriage is. Do you know what I mean? I have to be all romantic and spend all this money and Valentine's Day, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But then in other parts of the world, be in India, could be Africa, where their focus is on like building a village, building a
Mm.
community, you
Yeah.
know, and everybody has a role. Over here in the West, we're fighting the roles, you know.
Mm.
So just because I'm a woman doesn't mean da 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 da. But it's
Yeah.
just like, what is your natural nature? Not every woman is the same, but
We're all
then
different.
yeah, we're all different. So even, over, as I just mentioned, in India and Africa, they know what their strengths are. So they would be like, okay, I'm going to do this because this is my strength. However, if something that, they say is more of a woman's role to do, which is cooking, but the man, he loves cooking and his food is good, then he can cook. Do you know what I mean? There's
Mm.
no argument. But over here, it's like going against I don't want to say tradition. I don't want to say tradition, but basically like going against the grain. Do you know what I mean? And taking offense at everything of, you know, of your womanly traits, your manly traits.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? What they naturally are, you know? And like even like mentioning with the cooking, even though I'm a great cook. However, in my last relationship, my ex, he loved cooking. So as much as I'm a great cook and I would cook, but he would cook more than me.
Mm.
That was his thing. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And especially with barbecues, oh my gosh, barbecue was always out. But yeah, like, so it wasn't like, oh, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I like cooking and my cooking's good, but I'm a man. It wasn't that. It was he enjoyed cooking, so he would cook more than me, and it was no issue,
Mm.
you know? But yeah, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's all very interesting. I'm finding it just very interesting. And it's just like,
Mm.
what are you really fighting for? And what is your focus? Now, going back to your question about our focus being on marriage, I'm not going to say I would love to get married. I know that's the do you know what I mean? The romantic
Yeah.
part. I'd love to get married. However, I aim and my main focus is to have a life partner. So even though we could have, we can get married and have the whole big ceremony or whatever, or even small ceremony. However, I would still want probably another ceremony to mark that we are dedicating ourselves to be each other's life partner. Do you know what I mean? Like a life partner
Mm.
thing. And that, if anything, would be more intimate or just me and him, where we're speaking one on one to each other, you know, of what it is that our focus is, what we want, what we aim for, where we're going, what we see for ourselves individually and together, how we're going to build, and then continue to have those talks every so often when it's needed. But yeah, I would love to get married. However, my focus is more to have a life partner,
Mm.
you know? And I think that term life partner, that would have come to me in the last 10 years. I heard it
Yeah.
somewhere. I heard it somewhere. I don't know where I heard it. And I heard them describing what a life partner was for them. And I was like, that's what I want. That's what I want. That sounds more fitting for me. That sounds more fitting for me. How about yourself?
What's that? What? Sorry. I'm joking. I'm joking, mate. I'm joking. I'm
You keep
joking.
listen. You
I'm joking. I'm joking.
you're part of the live, brethren. You're part of the conversation, so stop pretending like you can't hear what I'm saying,
Joking. I'm asking all the
brethren.
questions today. I'm asking you all the questions,
I'm
man.
hosting today, so I
But,
I
but, 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 but I'm asking the questions, and it's nice to sit back. Sit back.
I will
Um,
allow you to ask some questions, darling. Some.
I would say for myself, a little bit like you.
Oh, damn
In regards
thing.
to, well, to your lady, fix up yourself, please. Fix up yourself.
I'm here. Lord have mercy. Yes.
Oh dear. You're like yourself, because we've been fed into it, especially as young girls, marriage
Mhm.
and all these cartoons and these
Mhm.
films and what we see on the
Mhm.
television. You get lovely wedding and marriage and a ring and a party and a dress. Da, da, da. But when I break it down, when I think about it, I'm like, no, really.
Mm.
It'd be nice to have the big party and be center of attention because that's always good.
I know. I'm the dress. Yeah. I
But
can
then,
remember. You know
but
what?
then I kind
When I was
of,
at school, I used to say that yeah, like of how the big wedding that I wanted and that I was gonna get changed
Mhm.
maybe twice or three times because I wanted like two or three dresses. And then I was like, yeah, then I'd get after the wedding, take all the presents, get all the money, get all the gifts, and then get divorced.
Mm.
I think I was saying that up until I was 16, 17, because in my head, I was just thinking about materialistic things, looking
Yeah.
good, getting all the food, the cake, people surrounding me. I'm looking beautiful. Everyone can see how beautiful I am. Then get all the money and da 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 da, and then get divorced. Do you know what I mean? But I know that was influence as well because my mum and dad, they got divorced when I was 5.
Just like for
You
me, I'm
know?
not against marriage at
Mm,
all, but as like as I was growing older, I was like my concept, yeah, my need to want to get married has literally changed because, like you said, as long as I have that life partner, my yoke, that person that we're literally like this,
mm,
and we're building. We know each other's strengths. We're literally we're building a unit. We're building a village, a community together. Then my thing is, what is the need to get married?
mm-hmm,
What is the need? Is there a need? What is the need?
mm-hmm.
Hi, you're at 7414 Jojo. How you do? How you do? How
Hey
you do?
Jojo, Miss Beautiful.
The beautiful. Oh, thank you. So are you, darling. So are you. So yeah, um, if you're with your life partner and your setup is good, you're both living. You're living an abundant life. Everything is well. Do you need to get married?
Mm, mm, mm,
But then, because how some things are set up, sometimes maybe in regards to maybe financially in certain things, it might be better to be married. Maybe
mm,
that's what, you know what
mm.
I mean? Because yeah, there's certain things. So,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, because marriage is a contract.
luckily.
It's a contract, but there are many people that have split up from their partner because of marriage, because they wasn't ready because the person wasn't ready to get married. And then they'll be like, well, if you don't want to marry me now, then you're not going to want to marry me later. So me and you, it's done,
Yeah, it's like,
you know? So
some people
I,
think they're ready for marriage, but they're not ready. It's easy.
yeah.
Oh, what I read, or did I hear something somewhere that I think it was an Instagram, like a little video or reel. They were saying
Hmm.
like, what, 20 of, was it 20 or 30 years ago? It wasn't easy to get. What was the question? I think, what was it? Something about marriage and divorce. And I think they were saying back in the day, it wasn't getting married it wasn't that easy. Now everyone's like, oh, I can get married, let's get married. Yay!
Hmm.
But back in the day, it's very different. People put in the work, people were I don't know, people were more committed. I don't know what's changed. I just don't know. I don't know.
Hmm.
And I think it's more easy now just for people to give up on the marriage and say, oh, it's
Hmm.
not working. I can just go get a divorce. Let's go, get a
Yeah,
divorce
yeah. Yeah,
without
definitely.
without even putting
Trying.
in, yeah, trying to make it. You know what? I'll get married. If it doesn't work out, then I'll just get a divorce. No,
Hmm.
grandfather. See, for
Use
me,
use
if
that
I was
use
to
that
get married,
perspective as like in the dating stage, not
yeah,
when you get married.
yeah, for me, marriage is I see marriage as a sacred thing,
Yeah.
and I'm not going into it lightheartedly. So, like, even though I'm saying I'm not really fussed about it as long as I've got that life partner. However, should marriage present itself to me, it's going to be the case where I need to make sure this is correct because I do not want to get a divorce. That's going to be the last thing on my mind.
Mm, mm,
No,
mm,
I'm not going. Okay, if anything, I can get a divorce. No, 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 brother.
mm.
No. Life. We're in this for life. Life partners, life. Life means life. Better Wasara, sickness and healthiness.
Mm,
Togetherness.
mm.
See it there.
And the thing is, like, you will piss each other off. There will be
Till
days,
death, till
times
death,
when you
yeah,
don't.
till death has art. Till death
Yeah,
was art.
but it's communication and putting in the
Mm.
work. You're putting the work in so many other areas of your life. Why wouldn't you do the same with your relationship? You know, it shouldn't be so throwaway. But yeah, but then because the focus is so much on the getting married and the wedding, it's like, even though that is a commitment, but going back to what you just said about how, people be like, oh well, if it doesn't work out, if we don't get along, if I don't like him or like her, then just get divorced. But
Hmm.
it's just like, it just shows that the marriage doesn't really mean anything. It's just a piece of paper.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah,
Do you know what I
exactly.
mean? It's like the focus is on, oh, okay, who's going to marry me? Who am I going to get married to? But not on the individual. Do you know what I mean? Like, what
Yeah,
type of
but yes,
individual
for
do you
me,
actually want?
it's as if people are thinking short term. Oh, 2, 3, 4 years. You're not thinking long term. You need to be thinking 50 years. You need to be
Mm.
lifetime, long term, not no short term thing. Marriage is long terms, long terms, long terms. Marriage is long terms.
Mm, mm,
Not no short
mm.
like spring break. That is not, no, no, that's not much. That's not much.
Or like the current trending program, Married at First Sight. Have you ever watched it?
Of course, I watched the very first one. I watched the first few seasons many years. That's going back, what?
Yeah.
Been on for a few. When I check it out, what, 7, 8 years?
Okay. I've only got into it the
Okay.
last couple years.
I
So
stopped
last
watching it.
year, yeah,
Yeah, I
last
stopped watching it.
year and the year before, I did watch the UK and the Australian one. And I did at one point get kind of addicted to it because I was like always making sure that I was in, or if I wasn't in, that I was able to watch the playback.
Because I
So
know
then,
the Australian one is new because I used to watch it when it was first came out and it was on Channel 4. When it very
oh,
first came out, it used to be on Channel 4. And I was like, what is this show? I was like, how could you do? I got some joke. It's a
it
joke,
is
joke.
hilarious. And
It's
yeah,
hilarious. And for me, the best bit for me is when they're telling their parents, I swear to God, that bit is the funniest bit. I'm
there
getting
was a,
married. I'm getting married to who? I don't know. Oh, yo,
yeah, there was
and
one mother
if
last
I
year.
was ever, if I was, hi, mom, I've got something to tell you. Hey, spit it out. Well, just say what you have to say. I'm getting married to who? What did it do? What to who? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know?
What's their name? I don't know.
What's the name? No, because I think they know the name. I think, oh, they might know. They know the name. That's it. They just know the
Oh, is it?
name.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember they knew the name. That's it. Yeah, I think they know the name. I'm getting married in what, 2 weeks or 2 weeks or 4 weeks or something. Excuse me.
Mm-mm.
Who's coming to this wedding? Who's paying for this? Who's coming? Who is this person? I don't know, Mum. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, idiot. That's what I would get.
There was
Hang
one
up
mother
phone.
last year who, yeah, she went ape shit. It was one of the gay guys, I've forgotten his name, but he went back to his mum and dad and was just like, yeah, got something to tell you. I'm getting married soon. And they was both just looked at each other and were just like, you what? And then, but yeah, there's just like, to who? When? How? How did we not know about this person before? And then the mum was just like, yeah, she just started swearing. She was just like, I think fucking not. But she was one of the parents, she never held back. When she had something to say, she would just say it. She didn't, yeah. But yeah, I think the Australian one has started again, but I vowed, I was like, I'm not gonna be watching it the way that I did last year and the year before because it was just ridiculous. And I was just getting too invested in their lives. I was like, I'm too invested. I'm too invested. Like, are they still together now?
Yeah, I did. That's what I mean. You see, the focus then marriage, 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 marriage. Even the
Mm.
other one, love is blind, marriage. You don't
Oh
see
yeah,
them
yeah,
in
yeah.
chatting. All you're doing is you're talking to the person. You don't know what they look like, and then you ask them to marry you. What kind of stupidness? I said,
Mm.
oh, I just said,
Mm.
marriage. It's all about getting the marriage and signing the contracts. Like it's just there is more to life than marriage. You know, there
Mm.
is.
Mm.
Like building yourself, building something together. You can do it together. You can.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can do it on your own and together. Do you know what I mean?
It's always good to have that. It's nice to have that person by your side. You know, babes.
Hmm.
Yeah, mama, yeah, babes. Someone to rub your crusty foot bottom. You know,
I don't know, but
when
that's
you're not
one
well and
thing.
you can't bend, when you're not well, it's done with. So can you just rub my foot bottom?
I don't like anyone touching my. I'm not really into that. Like, don't touch my
So
feet.
hold on, you're gonna be in a so what? You're gonna get in a relationship now, and you're not well, and your foot needs creaming and rubbing up, and you're not going to make the man rub your foot, or you're not going to rub your man's foot. That's you don't love them.
I do love them. I just
No,
don't
you
like
don't, babe.
feet.
No, you don't.
I don't like feet.
Yeah, but this is someone that you love, so you don't want him touching your feet, and you're ill. You're going to have crusty feet for a couple of weeks. No one's going to cream your foot bottom.
I'll get a bucket of oil and just.
You never been, and I've never been pregnant, but I've seen pregnant women with a big belly and they can't bend down and touch their toes. So how are you going to cope, babes? I can cope. Okay.
I've thought
I leave,
about that.
I leave that one. I'll leave that one right there for you because
I've thought about that. I've thought about that when that day comes, and I'm like,
yeah,
mm. But yeah, I've
you know,
always
you're
had an
gonna
issue
get.
with feet.
Yo, love oversees everything. You forget about that shit. You check your face now. You see when you love that person, you be like, but I love you and I do want you to get better, so I will do this for you. You'll do it.
Yeah.
You love them, babe.
I've never had anyone request me in my two serious relationships. They never requested for me to touch the feet.
Neither. See, you didn't listen to what I said. I never said request. When did the
But
word request come out of my mouth? I
okay,
didn't
not
say request.
request. I know you didn't say request.
Exactly, because that's the difference, right? Okay.
Good afternoon, good evening, Mark. It's evening over here. How are you doing, King? Hope you're well.
Good afternoon, King. Wagwan. You all right? You all right, baby? Are you married? Talking about marriage. If you're not, would you get married, or would you just?
Mm.
Yo, tea blows on fire.
Hey, Tanya, how you doing,
Tea,
babe?
tea. How you
Wow, long
doing?
time.
It's been a long, long time since the Browns. It's been a long time. It's been too long.
Yeah,
Mwah. Love
it's
you,
been a
man.
long time.
But yeah, man, we're literally speaking we're speaking sorry. We started a conversation with as women, um, do we know what we want in a man?
Mm,
Because we say we
mm.
want this, we want this, we want that. And to be honest, sometimes we'll get what we want, but then we realize that
Yeah,
isn't it.
we're not happy.
We're not happy. And what we're asking for in men, are our expectations too high? Are we putting the basket where we and can't reach? I mean, I try to get
Mm-hmm.
the tin and we
Mm-hmm.
can't get the tin. And the expectations are that high, you can't reach it because you put the thing up for 7 foot and you're only 3'4", so there ain't no way you're gonna get that. Is it then? And at best, you're average, and the man you're looking for is a 10. So, and we were both, myself and Naomi, both agreed that yeah, some of the women's expectations too high. Yes, have
Mhm.
standards. You have standards of a certain type and a certain man that you would like, standards, but expect them to have yeah, some of them is just wrong, and
Mm.
you sit and you listen, you're like, who you're describing a superhero? Because I don't know who
Mm,
that is.
mm.
You're describing some kind of someone that don't exist in the,
Yeah, it's all daydream.
maybe what you call build your own man.
In it, in it,
Maybe
Lego,
you think of build your own man.
Lego. You have to go for Lego man.
Yeah, she says normal standards are just not normal anymore. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Then
things that
Sunset
aren't
Boy.
normal anymore.
Question again. What would you class then as normal standards? What would you class as normal standards? Because we're coming
Hmm.
from the same era, man, with the same. Good, good. This is my friend for, I'm not even telling you how many years, because then you let tell my age. So I'm not gonna tell you. Even though it's my birthday soon, people. It's my birthday
I
soon.
know.
Okay. And if you're in London this Friday, this one is for the Queens only. We have an event in
Mm.
Kennington called Queens,
3 week
which was
month.
last week. March is Women's Month. So yeah, we have an event in Kennington this Friday for the women only. Tickets are available on Shop. So please, ladies, go get your tickets, and we'll see you
Yeah, come
Friday.
and join us.
What she said here.
White
White
man
man
standard.
standard. What's that? What's that, babe? What's
What
the
does
white man
that
standard?
mean?
What is white man standard? Me, I don't know what they stand for this. Come, share the tea, tea. Tea, share the tea. What do you mean by the white man
Yeah,
standard?
break it down for us, sis.
I mean, I know. White man, what is your standard? I'm not interested in your standards, so. Why fire?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like we were saying, I just think too much expectation is put on marriage for us to get married. I can't type
Mm.
all that.
Come live with us, T. Come and tell
Come
us.
live, man. Put on one, if
Come
you look
live.
fun, put on one extra for us and
I'm
just come
gonna
live.
send you an invite.
Um, but yeah, like I said, I
If you're
just
able
think
to join us, come live.
the expectation we have on marriage is high. We don't just stop with it, man. Find yourself first. Find yourself
Mm,
first. Find
mm,
yourself because
yeah,
you invest in too much time chatting about the man that you want to have to take care of you, and half the time
you can't
you
take
can't
care of
take care of
yourself.
yourself. Can't even
Mm.
take care of your shoes.
Hey, see, you're
If you
joining
think I'm
us.
going live
We're
in this
helping you,
hot
love.
mess, I'm not going live. I'm not going live with
We're
this
not going
hot
to
mess.
live.
This is a hot mess.
Yes.
No, no. I got my limitations on live, and this is a limit. This is a hard no. This is a hard no, my sisters. You know. I mean, I looked at the peekaboo, grey hairs coming through, the little pixie tail I got on the. No, no, no,
Look, you see
no.
me? I put a hat on, I put on a hat, put a cap on, put on a scarf.
No, Fiona, you wake up like that. Me no wake up like that. That take a lot of energy from a girl like me. You know, I can't do it. I can't. I can't. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ladies.
Thanks for
No,
joining
no.
us, babe. It has been a long time. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. It's been a minute, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
I sometimes try to like catch you guys and miss it, and I get super
yes.
annoyed. But
Oh,
you guys are funny. You guys are really
oh,
funny.
oh, thank you. So what's your take on the subject then?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a difficult one because I think we get told our standards are too high and we need to be very careful of that narrative.
Mm,
Okay.
Because what we do is we then don't demand a certain standard from our men.
mm,
And I think we've fallen victim quite a lot of the times for men that are substandard. So
Okay.
we need to be very careful. Yeah, some of us say we want the man with this, we want the man with that, we want the man with this, we want the man with that. But let's just be clear, every culture of woman wants that. So it's not wrong to want it. We've just
Mm.
got to accept that a lot of men fall short of that. So when I was saying about the standards,
mm,
the normal standard of man who acts like a king within his home and takes care of business, doesn't really exist anymore because we've feminized men. We've demasculated them. We've readily accepted less than a normal standard, and so we have to be very careful that we don't lower our standards to find happiness. It can't be the be all and end all, because I look around and I get very disappointed with the amount of, especially women of our complexions, who
Yeah, but the black woman them,
find them,
the blacks them.
the black woman them.
The black
I get-
woman them,
I- yeah. Because we have pick me out, and sometimes the man them not die out. I mean, so you know, so I'm just like, why is that? And it's because, and you know, it's you nag a lot, you want too much. But I will see our men giving that to every other nationality, cat, woman, and dog.
Yeah.
But when we ask for it, it's as if we
It's
should
too
still be
much.
slaves and take the bare minimum. And I struggle with that because the black woman is such a force and such a formidable human being that if you just work with us, we would all have a formidable life. And that's what I don't understand, because we will call you out on your bullcrap. We will tell you we demand better from you because we know you was raised by a woman like us and she wouldn't be pleased to see you with a lower standard. So, you know, I think sometimes we should be allowed to want comfortability. We should be allowed to want protection. And sometimes that comes in the shape of a man going out there and being a man, being a man that has his own, as it was, shit together, you know. So it is a difficult one. Are we looking for the black version of Prince Harry with the castle and the white horse and the billions of dollars in the bank? No, sometimes all we want is a man that turns up on time.
Thank you.
Right?
Amen.
We're not asking too much. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Sometimes we just want a guy who says he's going to call and calls.
Yeah.
Is that too much?
Yeah.
Sometimes we want a guy who just has a job. Is that too much? That's what the guys need to start asking themselves. Are we really asking for too much? What, that you've got a job, that you might have your own shit? It's not too much.
Have your stuff
Excuse my
together,
French.
innit?
Have yourself together. And especially don't go looking no woman who's got herself together when you've got nothing. Because that's some of the biggest arguments is, she wants to use her things against me. No, you just need to have yours. Why? You spent 30, 40 years on this planet and you have nothing. How is that possible? No money, no car, no house, and 10 picnic. How is that possible? So we just kind of want the guys that respect themselves to come and approach the women that are respecting themselves. And I don't think we should lower our standards. So that's my piece on it.
You've mentioned to give you
Now sign.
a round of applause for you. You made some really valid points.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hear what you're saying, because I've known throughout my thing. I said I have certain standards, and like you said, I'm like, I'm not lowering my standards because this is my line. I'm not lowering that, but at the same time, my expectations aren't going to be too high, because I'm not saying the man has to, like you said, I'm not saying the man has to be earning this amount of money. He has to have this job. He has to definitely have a car. I'm like, no. But have your stuff together. Have yourself together.
Yeah,
because me now, myself is together. So for me to have myself together and to have someone that isn't, I've done that, and it literally not again ever.
Never. Well, this is
I did it, and there's the one I'm thinking, "Oh, be all right. I'll be able to help." If the person's broken, they're broken. Don't get into it.
If they're broken, they're broken.
They're broken. Do not get into it if that person's broken, because that person needs to heal. And they're pushing all that negative stuff onto you. Don't work, man. It don't work. I thought everything was fine and Christian. I'm like, no.
But the thing is, as well, with that, what you forget is that your vision isn't that other person's vision.
Exactly.
So you could be there trying to fix them, or trying to fix and have the solution for everything. But if they don't want to see it, if they don't want to hear it, they're not going to do what is best to do. They know that it's the best thing to do, but are they gonna do it? And they don't always do, because it's not their vision, it's not their voice, it's not their focus.
But
And
sometimes, you know
that's
what's
what we need
difficult?
sometimes.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, you have some people where they will say that is their focus, but they just fixated on the thing and they don't want to do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and but I think as women,
That's where you're struggling, because they keep
Mm.
banging on and going on,
Mm.
and it's like, all right, okay, I'm listening, but then at the same time, what are you going to do about it?
Mm-hmm.
well, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what, as women, sometimes we need to stop trying to fix what is
Exactly, and
so
that's
far
what I've done.
broken.
I'm not a
You
fixer.
know, it's not our responsibility
Yeah.
to make you into a king. It's
Yeah.
not our
In
Yes.
my
responsibility to make
younger
you into a
years,
god.
yeah, in my younger years, I used to do that a lot.
Yeah.
I wanted
Mm.
to be the fixer, the mender,
Yeah, of course.
I'm
We're
focusing on,
nurturers, aren't we?
yeah, focusing on the potential and not on the here and now,
hmm
So yeah, in my younger years, I was guilty of that for sure. Can't even lie.
Mm. Then I
Mm.
think as well,
Yeah.
I think
It says,
because I know we're talking about ourselves and the men, but I think as well, I can't even speak for men, but I know it must be difficult in a sense for them, for a man that's got his stuff together. Because, for example, you have the females that are, they don't do much for themselves, but they want the man to come pick them up like a prince and can do this, do that. But babe, you ain't working and you're lazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you've
but
got the
I
men
always
that
say
will,
it's a trade though.
huh?
It's a trade though. It's a trade though, because I'll
Mm,
tell you this now. So I was discussing this with somebody the other day, and I says, someone's got to be buying and someone's got to be selling. Yeah.
mm,
9
Okay.
out of 10, those men that have their stuff together and then pick up their walkless women, they wanted a trophy wife. They wanted the girl with the long hair and the nails and the eyes and on flick and everything looks good and everything's tight and firm and everything. They wanted that. So they bought into that dream.
mm,
So they've got to
Okay.
have a responsibility to that as well, because I'm not saying we're not creme of the creme, but I'm saying there's women
mm,
out there that they will see way before they see women like us. And
mm.
sometimes they know that woman wasn't working when they met her. That woman had no ambition when they met her. That woman was all about clothes, partying and drinking when they met her. But all of a sudden they want to turn her into wifey and wonder why they've got this party and dress up, want to spend and don't want to do nothing. Woman,
Okay.
people show you
Mm,
who they are.
Mm.
mm.
But sometimes we choose not to believe
Yeah.
them.
Of
When somebody
course.
tells you this is me,
Believe
believe
them.
them. So as a
Believe
man,
them
as a
first
woman, we
time,
have a
man.
responsibility. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah,
That
when
is very,
someone
very,
says
very
something,
true.
So
when someone says something more than believe them, and I really wish I did that.
Mm. Mm. And not
yeah.
hearing what you want to
Shoulda,
hear.
woulda, shoulda, woulda, coulda, didn't.
How many years of your pretty have you wasted trying to
Yo,
get someone to be the person you want? And now you get to this age and you think, well, I wasted a good 20 years of my pretty. In fact, I've just noticed my sister's just jumped on it and she gave me that. She said, stop wasting your pretty.
yeah,
Yeah. And that is the thing. We got to stop wasting our pretty. We've got to tell our young sisters to stop wasting their pretty
yeah,
on men that show us who they are at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So,
mm,
we've got to, yeah.
Yeah, that is so true. And I've been guilty of that too.
We all
yeah.
have, but
We all
I
Mm.
have,
think
man.
what's especially difficult for us is we don't have a guidebook.
Mm.
The world doesn't revolve with an image that looks like us and a
Yeah.
culture and a community that is us.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, we've come from an era of parents that don't teach us nothing.
Yeah.
And I know
Mm.
that might sound
True. No, it's
hard
true,
to
it's
But it's the
hear.
true,
truth
very true.
though. It's the
It's
truth.
true.
So we pick up these men and they expect us to know what to do. And we're just as frightened as they are
Exactly.
because we've not had
Mm.
the teachings,
Mm.
And so what happens when you've got two dysfunctional people trying to go forward but don't have a bloody clue how to go
Yeah.
forward?
Yeah. Yeah. The blind leading the blind.
Mm-hmm.
The blind leading the blind.
Headbutting.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to leave it to the next generation to find that happiness by
Mm.
teaching them to respect the standards, keep the standards, and expect and do better. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think I was saying respect yourself and respect each other, because I don't think that there's no the respecting of the other, like each other. I don't see that. Just don't.
Yeah.
Maybe see we're all sighing. Like, yeah,
I
this is
Oh
know.
no
my gosh,
respect anymore. There's no respect, man.
my damn phone keeps falling. But
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like
Shit.
there's just no,
Do I?
there's no, the respect isn't there. And
Mm.
it's so, it's heartbreaking to see it. You're like, oh no. Sometimes when I hear some of these young girls
I
speak, I'm like,
know.
no, no, you're not,
Oh,
no, no,
it
don't, no. I'm like,
continues.
no, no, no.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
hard.
Breaks
It's
my
hard out
heart,
here.
man. It breaks my heart. It makes it tough.
Mhm. Yeah. But it's
And we're,
yeah. And you're just speaking on like the young girls and even the young men, and when they speak on, well, they're focusing on themselves and they're channeling themselves and what it is that how they see themselves. But when they're speaking on what it is to be a woman,
Mhm.
or what it is to be a man, and it's just like you are so detached from reality.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad you said that. It's so true. Some of the
Mm.
conversations even I've had, let alone the young'uns, I, I, I sit there. I have to ring a friend. You know, like on A Millionaire, I have to ring a friend because I'm like, is this real? I mean, you know, when I talk nonsense, I know I'm talking nonsense. I'm sure when you talk nonsense, you know
Yeah.
you're talking
Yeah,
yeah,
nonsense.
yeah, I'm
I
talking
think
yeah.
these
shit.
guys don't know they're talking. They don't even know
I
when
just
they're
start
talking.
laughing at myself. I'm like, yeah, James talking shit, and I shut up. I start laughing. I will
Like
just literally, anyone would tell you, I will literally just start laughing and burst into laughter and be quiet because I just stop
just
talking
like
nonsense.
zip it.
But they're being
Like,
serious.
I,
The thing is,
mm,
they're being serious. And I have to ask myself, where does the mental health start and finish? Because you must know you have mental health when
but
you say certain things.
no, but you know what? We're living in a day and age, and this can go into many other areas, subjects, but we're living in a day and age where mental health is being encouraged and
yeah.
not being soothed. Do you know what I mean?
And the
Mm.
thing is, it's very rife in the younger people. There are so
Yeah,
many that have,
that are suffering.
that are suffering.
Yeah,
So
so many
many.
that are suffering. And I believe it's like a mix, like the society, when we was growing up, things were different. Things were different.
Yeah.
And I'm, like, I'm
Social
happy to
media,
say
see, it always comes down to me. All this social media, it wasn't there. You
it
didn't
wasn't
have
there.
all this.
Yeah.
All I know is, if social media was around,
Listen, if social media was
yo,
around,
let me
I'd be
tell you,
dead by now.
I'm not gonna lie. No, I would not be, no. I don't know where I'd
See,
be.
when I
I'm not
think,
being,
when I,
I'll probably be Bellevue, and I'm being serious. Because, yo,
But this is what
no.
people are showing on social media now, and it's just
Like,
like,
if social media was around my times, I get not. No,
yo, I'd
mm,
still be getting beaten. That's all I'm saying. I'd still be
no.
getting beaten
My mom
because
would be beating me and
because
say,
there's
film it,
stuff.
it's good.
There's,
Make them see what I'm doing. That's what my mom would
this
do.
is what I'm. This is what I'm saying. So there's stuff that is only buried because there's no such thing as social media 20
No,
certain things.
there's no social. The only social media I knew about was Childline, and my mom said, call him if you're bad. So it was like,
Do you know? So Fee, I think we were at school at the same time when we both got the same conversation from the school about child line. Me foolish,
yeah,
go on, go tell my mother about child line. My mother make sure child line not see me for about a week. Me say the week when she done with me, she goes, no, go call them. I said, what the heck is it? I couldn't move for a week. I'm just like, no, no.
oh, I think
no.
mine was in my late teens where I started to hear about children divorcing their parents.
I remember that. I
Yes,
remember
And
that
I,
particular
I
thing in
remember.
America.
and
I
I
remember
told my
there's
Yes,
mom,
a
I
it
little
must
was
be
in
boy.
contemplating.
America.
Yeah, in
Uh-huh,
America, and I told my mum I was contemplating divorcing her.
Oh,
Did she tell you
I
to
should have
pack your bag?
mentioned
Did she
when I
tell
said
you
that, I
to pack
should have
your bag?
mentioned that I wanted to divorce the belt because that's what I felt
Yeah,
after.
and take your things and get out of the
listen,
house, innit? Take your things and
our,
come out my
our,
yard.
our parents don't play those games. You talk those talk,
No,
you better know what
man.
you're doing. You better have a plan. You don't just turn up with that information to our mums. You better have a plan for the next 5 years. You wanna turn up and disrespect how she could have been going partying, she could have been doing this, and she done this for you, and you could have did this and this and that and did this. No, you better have a plan when you bring that kind of conversation to our black mums. No, don't try it. Have a plan. Have a
Oh, my
plan
head's
that doesn't
hurting me.
include social services, child line, or any
Innit?
other foolish.
Social call who? Oh, no, man.
No. You might need social services by
I'm not gonna lie, I think I did, man. The beatings I got, I'm not even getting.
Oh God.
See, I'm
No.
sure there were
Too
times. I'm sure
Now.
there were times. There was time back in the day in like infants where I'll never forget one time we had PE at school. We both sat. It was me, you, and I can't remember who else it was. And I was like, I had a bruise on my leg, and I seen a bruise on your leg. And I was like, crying. And we trying to hide
we
it
were
from the teacher, but we
comparing.
could see them, and we comparing bruises because we got beaten. But we couldn't make the teacher see the bruises.
Oh, right. Do you remember when we used to compare? We used to compare.
Yeah.
And the thing was, yours wasn't as bad as mine. Look, mine stretches from here to here.
Yeah.
Yours is only from Yassel to Yassel. So I got the worst one. How do you go to school? How do you process that as a child?
No.
How do you process that as a child? And then love this woman more than anything. God give you this
Exactly
life.
true. It's so true.
Right? How do you? No wonder we're damaged. Men, you're right. We're damaged.
It's true.
We're
It's
damaged.
the beatings, man. Sitting down on, can't move, getting beaten.
Oh my God, my
Oh God!
head.
And the joke was, you get beaten, but you go back and do the exact same
Yeah,
day.
yeah, you'll go back
It
and do
doesn't
the
even
same thing, but hope not to get
the
found.
same thing.
You'll be like, oh,
Right?
maybe I'll do it better this time, and
Oh.
mummy won't find out. She won't find out, and then they'll find out again
They
and
find out
again.
everything,
Right?
man. They find out everything.
Right.
Mm-mm.
So really, we're earsawed.
I was
And we've been
definitely in
earsawed for a
for
minute. We've been earsawed for a minute.
We
So when
laugh
man
now,
say,
we
you
laugh,
black women get
however.
ears off.
We laugh, however. The beating I got, right, I couldn't imagine giving that to, if God gives blessing me children, no, I couldn't give them that beating.
No.
It's just too much,
No.
man.
But I do the side eye and I do the cough throat. Which gives them an ample warning.
Yeah.
I give them ample warning that
Yeah.
it's coming. Yeah.
And
I
I'm with
give them,
my
and if,
yeah. I know warning. No, our warning was wait till you get home. That was my warning.
yeah.
oh, I
And
used to hate that.
when
Yeah.
you're walking really slow because you don't really want to get home. Because
But
as
when
soon
you
as
do get home, did you ever try and hide the belt or the
no.
Oh
slipper?
yes, don't do that.
What's the
Don't
point?
do
Because
it.
you're gonna get
But
something wrong around. There's no
you're just
point.
prolonging the evidence.
I
You
tried.
can get the
I
sleep
tried.
with the EO. Is there's no point. There's no point.
Yeah, I tried hiding the
One, you're
belt and
prolonging
hiding the
it.
slipper, and I got beaten
Yeah.
even more.
One, you prolong it, and two, when it finally comes, it's double because you're so upset and angry. So you might as well have just dealt with it when you get in. I always said, don't prolong the situation. It's going to happen. Just embrace it.
Yeah.
And don't let it happen again. Embrace it. It's not that bad.
Oh my gosh.
Wait till we get to them. And you know we've got 3 hours at the venue still. So you've got 3 hours at the venue you've now just ruined. And now you've got a whole hour home on public transportation. And then you've got phone call to do when you get in to talk about the night you went out, and then you're going to wake me up to remind me, you said, remember me to tell you, say, wait till you get home.
Yeah, innit?
No, it's wrong.
When you think that
It's
they've
wrong.
forgotten about it, no, they still
No, they
remember.
don't forget about that.
I used to pray your mum called, because see when them two got talking, I was like, yes, that's nice. You should forget about this. Yes, what did I talk about? No, them I check this show one and check that. No. Yes, this sleep I got nice tonight. And you see when I used to say, your mum would remember something and she'd go, all right then, me call you back later. I'll call you back tomorrow. I was thinking, oh no, oh, life is not good again. Life just got serious. No,
Oh my God.
no.
Oh, my head. My head's hurting me.
How did you get from marriage to beating? I'm not
I know. I know.
It's because you got me on here. I take people off track. I need to...
Well, yes, but Nay, can you actually, though, going back to marriage, can you see yourself getting married?
Again?
I'm talking to Nay. Oh, but no, Tanya, though, can you? Oh, Tanya, Tanya, can you see yourself getting married again? Because I forgot you've been married before.
Truth be told, I'd like to be optimistic and say yes, but the reality is I'm too selfish for that now, I think. I'm too comfortable with myself. I'm too needy on myself. And I don't know if I've now put my barriers up so high that I wouldn't allow anyone in to that level. So am I giving them 100% of me? And I don't think that's fair to have anyone's child in my life. When I say child, that's someone's son.
Yeah.
And not giving him 100% because of the scars I carry, if I'm being real.
Yeah.
And then I'm also very selfish of my space. I mean, I can't even find closet space for my own clothes. I mean, where's he gonna put his stuff in the car? where does it say? I don't know about you. I ain't got no space. Have you got shoes under the bed? I got shoes under. I've got things everywhere. So my argument is, I've not allocated space for someone, and then my worry is, when you get to this age and you've got your own stuff, do you have to sell that to then start something afresh, which is super scary? Or do you move them in? Sorry, I think I lost you then. Or do you move them in and risk them taking your stuff? There's so many questions. I think marriage for me scares the living hell out of me.
Yeah.
And and that's why it's so essential that anyone I meet, I would like them to be of a very similar standard. So we've got equal input and equal stuff to lose. So, let's commit together. Not me doing 80% and you doing 20%. Let's do it a proper 50-50 for me to be comfortable. And that's why it's difficult for me to take men even seriously, let alone get to marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about just like a committed relationship? So you're everything together, but you're just not married. Would that be an option for you?
Well, so me never more than one step away from any man at any one time yet still. So, yes. Yeah. No, that was a joke, gentlemen. Them gentlemen are on the line. That's a joke. Okay, so truth be told, yes, I would very much like a companion. I'd like somebody who I can enjoy life with. I want to create that memory wall where we look back and go, gosh, can you remember that? I want to sit down with our grandchildren, our blended family of different kids from different, because that's what it's going to look like, isn't it? Different kids from different marriages and so forth. I'd love it. I'd love to have someone I can trust and someone who can protect me and someone I can love with everything and give everything to and not second
Yeah.
question anything. I want to be able to set him a bath and cook him a dinner and press out his shirts and know he looks good because I put my man together. I take care of him. I give him the
Yes.
good fruit. You know,
Yes.
I'd like that.
Yeah,
You know,
Mm.
I've got a lot to give, but
Yeah.
even thinking about it makes me tired. I think I might need to go lay down.
You're hilarious. Oh my god.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh
Start at
my
this old
God.
age, you know, then no.
You give me
It's,
people. Can I just say, me and T, we've known each other since we were 4 years old.
which is a
4
long
years
time.
old. Long
Yeah.
time. Long
Time.
time, man. Jeez.
Yeah. It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
In a minute, man.
It's been a minute. Am I supposed to jump off this call and let somebody else on, or
Yeah, you can come off.
I feel like I'm hogging up your lot, Sim.
No, but the
Shut
conversation and all the
Okay,
points
go
that you've
on,
made have been
go on.
great.
That's a polite
This is
way of
what
saying she
lonely.
wants
This
to
is what
come off.
lonely old women do. You know, they just got nothing better to do. All my cleaning's done, my ironing's done, my washing's done. Like me, I have nothing for done. Me just we watch everything on Netflix. So I'm just here. So if you want me gone, you're gonna have to run me.
Hey.
All love, baby. It's all love. But no, you've
All
made
love,
some
man.
really valid points, and
Yeah.
I think it's helped to round up this conversation really because we've covered a lot,
A lot.
and still like moving away from this, it all really depends on us as individuals, our perspectives. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not what we say, it's what we do, really.
Oh,
So,
action.
Yeah.
Yeah, actions, man. Actions.
yeah, actions speak louder. So, but yeah, it's good to hear like somebody else's perspective and opinions on this, and then also what we need to do as women as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, some of us
I
need to
think,
fix up serious.
yeah, you know. But
And
yeah,
start.
I think the point that you made about us having to learn, like basically learning the hard way, because we wasn't taught. The things that we know now, we were not taught. Even though our parents, they knew, but
They knew.
they didn't have. When I think about mine, they weren't capable of communicating these things. It's like they
didn't have it
knew.
either.
Yeah, they knew, but they didn't know that they knew,
Mm.
and then they didn't know how to communicate that. Do you know what I mean?
I think the communication is the
Yeah.
key one in that one.
Yeah.
I think relationships always were talked of in like a bit of a negative way. I don't know if you remember when you were younger, it'd be like, you be careful with that guy because you mind they get you pregnant.
Yeah.
It wasn't
exactly true.
like I find when I talk to my daughter now, I might even say that first line, but then I will break it down and I'll go, you've got to be careful because they will tell you this, they'll tell you that, and you don't want to be the one that this and that, and this is what it may lead to, and this is how it impacts your life down the line. So I try and give a full comprehensive breakdown as to why I'm so fearful of certain things or going certain places or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And so I think that was the problem we had, is that they tried to tell it in the belligerent way that they knew how, the way they were taught, how their parents told
That was
them.
Nabada. That's it.
Yeah. And I think if you want to know where that comes from, I think we need to dig even further back. And and I hate when people go, oh, it goes back to slavery, because I think a lot of it does. You know, and a lot of it knew that so much could be taken so easily from us that we just put the fear of God into our children just to do the right thing, just to survive. And unfortunately, I think that's rippled down through the generations where, although they knew, they didn't want us to hang on to anything because they knew how easy it was to be taken away from us. So I think we've only just now come into that era where we explain things to our children and we show them the
Yeah.
dangers, and you know,
Mm.
and I don't know if that's part because we're in a different society, different culture compared to when we were back home in our other lands or our adopted homes from
Yeah.
kidnappers or whatever. But I think we've learned to talk to our children better now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do see that. I do see that more now in terms of parenting now. It's changed. Oh, hey sis, hey Tash. Mwah. Good evening.
Hey T.
Oh, GT on. Hi, GT. I didn't realize he was there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hey GT. But yeah, man. Yeah, parenting has changed. I think it's changed a lot on basically people learning of what didn't work for them when they were children. Do you know what I mean? And then wanting to be the opposite. They're really wanting to be
Yeah.
the opposite and to have more positive impacts on the children. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the difficulties that they had, they don't want to bring that to their children's lives. Do you know what I mean? They want to do better this time round because they see it didn't work for them. But yeah, it's kind of like full circle. But yeah, there's a lot to take on board. And there was a point that I was going to make, and it came and it went. So I'm not even going to try and find it.
No bother. Don't. No bother. Leave it with them.
I know
No
it's
bother.
gone. If it was important, I'd say it. Well, I remember it. I can't remember.
That's true. That's true. That's true, my dear. That's true.
I'm gonna jump offline now. Leave you guys to continue.
All
I'm
right,
gonna
then,
watch
honey
from a
boo.
distance.
Thank you,
It's been lovely
Right.
speaking
Thanks for
with you,
having me
girl.
on.
You're most
Take
welcome.
care, darling.
Thank
You
you.
take care of
Take care,
yourself.
darling.
Bye.
Love
I don't
ya.
even know
Bye.
how do I come off it, Shane? I don't even know
Press
how you
the
do
Press
it.
the
cross.
X, the X in the
Oh,
corner.
okay.
That lady still gives me jokes.
Yeah, no, T, she made a lot of valid points, and
But yeah, like you
and
said, especially when you just touched on, especially when she said we weren't told anything by our parents.
yeah,
It's
we
true, we
wasn't
weren't.
told anything. And like, if you went to them, even to ask something, you would get a shut
We're
up,
getting it all from the
and you'd get the
television and the
look.
movies. We're getting it all from television
Yeah,
and
yeah,
song
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
song.
yeah. Songs. Oh Lord, yes, the songs. But yeah, yeah. It's like so there was a lot of learning on our own, and then if we had any close friends to share their thoughts or experiences, or overhearing, people that will talk out loud about what they was going through, it was a lot of basically living and learning, you know.
Yeah.
That's why I say my 30s was the start of my healing journey. I didn't know that I needed to heal. I didn't know what it was to heal. I didn't know how essential it was. I didn't know that I had traumas. I didn't know that I had issues. I wasn't in my 20s, I wasn't aware of self-reflection. I know that I did reflect, but not to the capacity that I started in my 30s. It was a
Okay.
whole new level. Do you know what I mean? And me basically, like, it's like standing in front of myself naked, like seeing all of me and accepting that. Do you know what I mean? And
I
like
was in my 40s, babe. Yeah, I was in my 40s.
I'm breaking myself down, and it was fucking scary. It's
It
bloody
is.
scary. Do you know what I mean? Like to be
It's
so.
not easy road as the song goes. It's not easy road. It's not easy at all.
Mm,
Seeing yourself for who you truly are.
yeah,
Just make it just bare.
yeah, yeah. So it's like, not saying I don't have any regrets. However, the things that have gone wrong in my life have helped me to grow. Do you know what I mean? And helped me to
Yeah.
understand myself. And they didn't work out for a damn good
There's a
reason.
reason. Yeah.
You know,
There's
there was a
things that I
reason
would have,
behind
like I said, I
everything.
wouldn't change anything. No, there's things I would have done in hindsight. There's things I would have done differently.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things I'd be like, nah, actually, I should have done that,
Yeah,
approached that a
yeah.
lot differently. But like you said, if I had to go through that to become the woman that I am sitting here before you. If I didn't
Mm.
go through that, I wouldn't be that woman today.
Yeah,
So
so it's like being
I'm
thankful for the
thankful, even though
downside.
it
Yeah.
was shitty. Some of those lessons were shitty, some were really good. And for the
Mm,
shitty ones, I'm thankful for all of those experiences because
mm,
without them, I wouldn't be here. And the lessons at the end of the day, I've learned from them. And I know
mm.
never to go through that shit again, never to do that kind of shit again, never
Bring
to
your
put
face
up with
closer
that
to the
shit again,
camera. Come on, bring your face closer to the camera and say that again.
never put up with that shit again.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just know when it's time to just say no.
Mm. When it's time,
No,
yeah, goodbye.
let's just stop right here and there.
Yeah,
Boundaries, man.
goodbye. Mm,
Accountability, boundaries, and bye. See you later. Bye. Just bye. Bye.
mm. Yeah. Wish you well. Bye bye.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not being scared to say goodbye. I think
Yeah.
that's what it's been for me.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Saying
Yeah.
goodbye, like, oh my God, what does that look like? That means I'm going to be by myself. Oh my day.
Mm,
Oh shit.
mm,
I'm by
mm,
myself. Oh no.
mm,
No.
mm. But then that's where you find, the people that are in relationships and what's that saying that you always say to me, not every real is real, so you'll have
Yeah, yeah. Not every
relationship
reel on
real,
Instagram. Yeah, not every reel is real, man.
yeah, and
Oh, my head itching.
and then you find out like when they if someone does a tell all, like when they eventually split up and then they talk about how horrific the relationship was,
Mm-hmm.
but then you've bought into all of the marketing, do you know what I
Yep.
mean, the marketing of the relationship, and it's just like, but naturally relationships have their ups and downs, like
Yeah, of
you
course.
don't get on all the time, you're going to have your disagreements, you're going to have your fallouts, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That's
okay.
okay, man.
You respect each other, and you deliver your message or your opinion, your opposing opinion, with respect. It's okay. But it's when you disrespect each other. Do you know what I
That's it.
mean?
Yeah.
That's an issue. Is when you're delivering your opinion with disrespect and no regard of the other person. You
Then to
know.
me, that kind of behavior normally
Oh,
should.
bloody hell.
Maybe she got.
This damn phone, it's driving me nuts tonight. It just keeps on
Yeah, for
falling. And
me,
I've
I would want to. That kind of shows at the beginning. That can show like the first couple of months. I think the disrespect in regards to how you speak to somebody, because sometimes you cannot hide that. That's a very hard thing to hide.
Yeah, I've seen people, the beginning of the relationship, it's all graces and it's all loving, it's all respectful. And then maybe 6 months to a year in, when the other person knows, yeah, they ain't going nowhere. And then it starts to creep in. I've seen that happen.
Have you seen it, or is it from what they've told you?
Well, both. Both. I've seen, and yeah, I've
Because remember, you're not
experienced
around those
it.
because the reason why I say that because you're not around them all the time.
Yeah, 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 I
And
know that.
so no, I'm not disagreeing with you. The reason is because sometimes we tell people what we want to hear, and we only hear what we want to hear. So that
Mm,
person can be dropping shit, but we're not listening to that.
mm,
That's all I'm saying. We're not listening to that. A lot of us are
mm,
guilty. They can be dropping certain things, but we're overlooking it and seeing
mm,
the roses. We're not actually.
mm,
They literally just dropped something right in my lap, but I didn't see it
mm,
because you're
mm.
wanting to see all the roses and the flowers. But yeah, that's all I was
Mm.
saying.
Yeah,
People
tough to
put their
say.
best self forward at the beginning. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
mm,
a lot of that comes with, the
no,
representative, innit?
yeah.
And say to people, leave your representative at home. you come around me, don't bring your representative, because
Mm,
I'll sniff it out soon enough, and you'll be
yeah,
gone. I haven't got the energy or the time for that. I really haven't. Speak your truth from the beginning. Don't make out
yeah,
that you're somebody,
that you're
not
not.
yeah, that you're not, to get closer to someone, and then yeah, like to be like, oh, you have to be this particular way to keep this person, and then you start you want to start showing them your real self, but then it's like they're scared to, because to be honest, are they really going to accept you at your real self if you've been showing the representative, for so long? Sold them the wrong idea of who you are.
That's why it's important just to be yourself at all times. You can't go wrong, mate.
Mm,
And sometimes people show you their asses at the beginning, but yeah, exactly. That's what I was just
yeah,
saying. You
yeah.
choose not to see it.
Mm,
You
mm,
choose not to see it and
mm.
think it's okay. I can ignore. You see that you choose. You're blind to it, or you're thinking you've seen it. You're like, oh, it's okay. We can bypass that one. It's fine. So when it comes up 12 months later, you've seen it. 12. You've
Yeah.
seen it. You've seen it 11 months ago, and you didn't deal with it. So why now you're
Why
gonna start
now?
dealing with it?
Yeah, or start complaining. It's just like you're a
Mm.
little bit late. You're a little bit
A little
late.
bit late, man.
Yeah, and it's like, why are you going to complain about something that you've been accepting all this time?
Yeah.
You know?
Life, man, and humans. We as humans are strange. What Nat says she was listening to Jay Shetty earlier, and it was really interesting. We'll forward the link later. Interesting.
Okay, cool.
What was that about? What is it about?
I was watching an old interview of him and his wife, maybe 3, 4 days ago, of what it is for them, in how they got together and what their ship is for them and to them. It was a really beautiful conversation. Really beautiful conversation. Yeah, I do
That's why
like
when you
the
tell me what the
interview.
talk was about, where you going? You gonna sleep?
It's probably like, I'm gonna invite you, Tash.
Oh, she's
Actually,
not gonna.
no. Yeah, you're on your laptop, aren't you? So that's why I can't invite you. It's going to be a long text, especially if it's to do with Jay Shay. It'll be a long text.
No, let me just break it down in one sentence.
One word. Give us one
Yeah.
word.
No, don't even come with that. Um, can I just say this is very off topic, people.
Oh my
If
gosh, but you
ever
have
you
to talk about
no,
this,
if ever
please.
you get the chance to play charades with Naomi, don't ever do it. Decline. That's all I've got to say. When I see you in person, I'll explain, but it's not one for now. This is why I'm so tired.
People do not listen to Fiona. I had pure hateration from her and my other friend, out of a friend, and I did not appreciate the hateration. I played my own version of charades, okay? And
Right.
you
And
got
from
some
that
of them.
day, that says it all. Because all I said was, if you ever get the chance to play charades with Naomi, decline. And she's now just put her foot in it. And about hate, and she just admitted she plays her own game of charades. Within charades. Please explain to me how that works. I have no idea. But I seen it for myself on Saturday night going into Sunday AM. Oh. So yeah, just respectfully decline. And when I see y'all in person, I will show you.
No, you're not demonstrating to anybody, please and thanks. Leave it. Leave. I'm gonna delete you off the live. Get off.
That's it. I'm no more. Just thinking about it makes me tired. tired.
Oh, it's hurting
What's the
me.
saying? They say people speak their truth at the beginning. What they bring up all the time is what is important to them. Yeah, but yeah, what they bring up all the time is
Mm.
something that's important to them. They speak their truth at the beginning. Yeah, no, I don't know.
It really depends on the individual,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, it depends on the individual, really. I'm on the phone and laptop. Okay,
Mm.
whatever you're multitasking. What
Isn't
it?
it? But
Okay.
yeah, but yeah, some people speak the truth at the beginning. Or
I don't think that
actually,
all people do.
maybe everyone speaks the truth at the beginning, but it's like, I guess it's like being smart, you know, being very clever with their wording and how they say things when they say it. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? So you
Mm.
do get those that, like as Tasha says, what they focus on is what's important to them. But then you'll get those that they'll say something once, they'll repeat something else to confuse you,
Yeah.
but they'll say what is important to them once. They'll say something really cheeky or do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, they'll say something cheeky or kind of like questionable once. But because they've said it the once, you'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, they only said it the one time, so I'll bypass that,
There you go,
you know,
exactly. And
I'll
you don't bring
bypass
it up, you
that.
forget it. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
it's not an issue, then it
maybe
comes
they
up.
didn't really mean it because they only said it
Yeah.
the once and they said it in a jokey way. And it's just like, no, they're slyly introducing you to their truth,
Mm.
you know. But yeah, man, yeah. Not everyone's the same, innit? Not everyone's the same, but it is about us knowing ourselves better
Yeah, I was
and
saying,
listening
yeah,
to our guts.
I was
Do you know what
about
I
to say
mean?
that. Yeah.
Listening to
And
our gut.
knowing what, yeah, listening to you. Yeah, listening to your gut. Being
Mm,
true to self, knowing what it is you want, and sometimes it will present itself to you in ways that you didn't expect to present itself to you.
mm-hmm,
And are you prepared for that?
mm,
Because you may not be.
mm-hmm.
Mm.
Hush says, but he says you need to decide what you will accept from others. Yeah, what your boundaries
Mm.
are.
Yeah, boundaries, man, always.
Mm.
Boundaries, 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 boundaries. Always
Now
boundaries,
again,
man.
something that imagine if when we were young we would have if we had conversations with our parents about boundaries.
Oh, wow. Imagine.
Imagine that subject alone, forget everything else, but just to focus on boundaries and standards.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because that comes back,
What you're
yeah.
willing to accept and not accept. Yeah,
What is
yeah.
respect? That because that covers that. What is respect to you? How does it feel? How does it look? How does it sound? You know,
Mm,
so that one subject, if we had a conversation with our parents growing up about boundaries, how that would have amplified us as young adults, you know?
it's one conversation to be having with the younger generation now, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. 100%,
Boundaries,
definitely.
man.
Yeah, so they're more advanced. I see that every generation should be doing better than the last. You
Mm,
know, every generation should be forward in a particular area than how we were,
of course.
you know. So yeah, definitely have the conversations with them moving forward. But yeah, man, I think if we round up the conversation now, because we've touched on a lot. It's been a
Look at the
beautiful
time, babe.
conversation. Huh?
Look at the time. That's like 2 hours.
Oh yeah, it's 10 to 11, yeah. So yeah.
Goodbye.
But yeah, T, Tanya, Sunset Bronze, thank you for joining us once again, Queen. It's great
Yeah,
to
coming
hear
on
your
the
voice.
live. It's good to hear your voice, even though we didn't see your beautiful face, but it's
I
lovely
know,
to have you
I
joining us.
know. But yeah, man. So yeah, Miss Finoni, it's
Yeah.
been an absolute pleasure as
Yeah.
usual.
And what we doing on Friday, babes?
We're doing an event called Queens Only. It will be held in Kennington. I believe the address is 336 Kennington Road. It's a pop-up shop owned by Creative Spaces. We're in collaboration with them. So we will be holding a Sisters Talk About talk for the Queens Only to celebrate International Women's Day, week, month. But you know what? It's Queen's Day every freaking day. Let's celebrate ourselves every freaking day.
And what about tickets? How can you get the tickets?
If you go onto Shoops, and type in either Sistars,
Queens only.
Sistars. Well, yeah, Sistars because it's still our
Yeah.
event. Type in our name or type in Queens Only, and you will find the event in Shoops. And then don't forget, we have our event on the 6th of April. That will be Sisters Talk About, our every 3 month event, and we'll be celebrating Queen Finoni's birthday too. So we'll be going on till 1 a.m. How you
And
mean?
remember, folks, there's no work the next day.
Yes, it's the 6th
The
of
next
April because the
Thursday.
7th of April is Good Friday. So we're doing it on a Thursday. It's a little bit different this time. It's on a Thursday. But bring yourselves down there. You can find tickets for that event in Eventbrite. If you type in Sisters Talk About, search for us in there, put Sisters Talk About area, London, you'll find the event. And then also we have it in our bio, in our bio link on Linktree. You can find the event on there.
And we have 2 performances on that night.
Yeah.
By 2 young kings. So we're looking forward to hearing their spoken word. We're looking forward to that. So it should be a
and
good
then
night.
also the charity that we will be working with, or that we are working with, is Talks with MS, run by a queen called Terry. So we're really looking forward to this. And yes, sis, you'll be working, but we'll see you that weekend regardless anyway. So yes. So sis, let's talk about, we have 2 events. Imagine that. Imagine that. 2 events in the space of a month.
You know what I mean?
And pick and choose which one you want to come to. Queens.
If your queens, come to both.
Come to both.
Come on your own on Friday and bring your partner to the next one.
Yeah.
Yes, So men, remember you need to show up on the 6th of April as well, please. Make sure your men come represent like you did in January, the last one.
Yeah.
The men's representation was amazing. Representation was amazing. Always love to see the kings in full effect.
Yes. And let's speak up and loud. Talk and listen to one another. Learn to understand one another. Tash, you're gonna if you send me that link via DM, because I can't copy from here. If you send that link to us on the in the messenger, in the DM, because I can't copy from there. But yes, peeps. All right. Gonna end it here.
Until then, just take care of yourselves, take care of each other, respectfully, lovingly, and wholly. Until next time, love, peace, and goddamn all the hair grease. Mwah!
Take care, people. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Love you, Queen. Bye. Okay.